Happy 25! Woo! Hi, I'm Maddie and welcome back to one of my videos. Last night I just got back from Chicago back to New York, and there is so much that I've missed in these past 2 weeks with my plants. I thought I was going to be coming home to an apartment full of dead plants, but luckily it did not turn out that way. There's a lot of little updates I want to give you guys about what's happening to my plants. I want to show you guys what I'm bringing into my plant journey in 2025 and all the new things I got for Christmas related to plants. And yeah, let's get started. First off, what I'm bringing into 2025 is my new matcha kit that I asked for, so thank you. I'm going to be making so much matcha. I even got my dad hooked on matcha now since I was making him matcha back in Chicago, so you should try it. Before I left New York, I ordered 2 bags of Molly Aeroids mix. I've been wanting to get this for the longest of time. I've seen so many people review it and say that it works perfectly with every single plant that they own. I ended up, as a beginner, getting the Miracle Grow soil from Home Depot, and I've been just trying to use that up as fast as I can so that I could purchase a better soil. And I was finally getting really low on my Miracle Grow, and so I decided to get this. Someone also commented in my video maybe about me potting up my grandma's cuttings, possibly, that I should get some Molly Aeroid mix, and I saw that as a sign, so I ordered some right after someone commented that, so thank you. I'm so excited to finally use this in all my repots. So my grandpa wanted to get me some stuff for Christmas, and he asked what I was interested in, and I said I wanted pots. So I got to pick out a couple pots for myself, and my boyfriend ended up getting me pots as well. So I ended up with 5 pots, I think, at the end. So let me show you. Here's the biggest one. I currently have a philodendron tortum in it. It is gigantic. This leaf finally came out while I was gone, and it's pretty hard now. So I'm excited for this to get huge. It's a 6-inch pot, and I have this tortum in a 5-inch pot. I just put the tortum in here because I want my tortum to be in this pot. I love this pot. I got it from Tent in Brooklyn. Handmade, so my grandpa paid a heavy penny for it, but I'm gonna have this pot forever, and it's gorgeous. And even when my tortum outgrows this pot, I'll use it for a different plant. And yeah, I'm just really pleased with the color, the shape, the paint. It's just gorgeous. It's gonna stay with me forever. Next up, this is also from my papa. It is my Florida Ghost Philodendron. It looks so good in this pot. I love the shape. It came with a saucer. And this has become one of my favorite plants, and I knew it was going to be one of my favorite plants because the first one started dying a little bit, and I had to purchase another one because I was going to be so sad if it was going to die, but it's right here. It's doing fine, the other one, but obviously this one has been growing a lot faster. So I decided to put the faster grower in here, and once this one outgrows the pot, I'll put this Florida Ghost into the pot. Like this, I will be putting different plants in this once this outgrows it. It's a 4-inch pot. It's just so good. Speaking of my Florida Ghost, I've been getting a lot of whiter leaves, and soon I'm gonna have to force it not to, even though I love the look. I need them to be a little more frosty so that it absorbs the light, while some of these are just plain white. And I don't want this plant to die, and I don't want these leaves to die as well, but it's just gonna happen eventually, and So I need to put this in a darker space so that the light doesn't make it white every single leaf, which is sad. So maybe during the summer I'm gonna have to find a different spot. Maybe not in a grow light situation, maybe just natural light and just a little farther away from the window. That's what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do with this plant over the summer. Last one for my papa is this one. Like the other ones, I love the shape of this one. It is so freaking fun. And it will be so pretty once this trails down. It came with a little bowl underneath because there is a drainage hole underneath this. Right here. So it catches the water, which I don't water it with a watering can. I end up putting it in a container and letting it soak. So I don't really need this, but in the future, if I decide to not use that method and I just want to start pouring into the pot, this will come in handy. So I'm definitely going to make sure I keep it. Just goes perfectly underneath. I just put this philodendron underneath, and these are both under my TV. They are right next to each other and they look really pretty and presentable compared to the other plants I have that are a little scary looking based off of the pots and how many are shoved into one area. So my TV is spacious and there's not as many plants there. When I do head out for a while and I can't take care of my plants every single day, I end up shoving a lot of plants under my TV because my bookshelf doesn't have an automatic timer for the lights. Those are the only ones, so I end up putting every single plant that I have on my bookshelf on my TV. And so I finally cleared that out, and now the pots look pretty again since there's no clutter. But thank you, Papa. So the last two are from my boyfriend. He ended up painting on it with my name. And this is a 4-inch pot, possibly. He said it was 4.5, but I think it's a 4-inch pot. But I have my grandma's cuttings of her succulents in here. I have 2 other pots with her cuttings, and I was really nervous about leaving these cuttings because some of them weren't looking really good because they just weren't rooted enough, and I didn't want to put too much water in it even though I needed the roots to like activate. But now it's looking beautiful. These little guys, I still don't know the idea of them. At first they were crusting off at the tips, and I just had the biggest feeling that they were never gonna work for me. But now I've gotten so many new leaves on here and they're finally growing, which is beautiful. This big guy right here though has been sprouting like crazy. My other pots, they have different varieties of succulents, so some of them don't even have any of these kind of succulents in them, but they're all doing pretty good now. So I'm really surprised to come back to see that these aren't all dried up and shriveled up, and they've actually finally rooted for me. So I'm going to become a big succulent person, which I wasn't before, but yeah. The last pot I got for Christmas is this little guy, which is a little star, which is very pretty. And I put my little Hoya in here. I'm currently trying to grow this Hoya again. It wasn't really working for me. Now I'm finally getting some leaves in here, like this guy right there. And so I'm hoping I can fill this up. Hoyas do take a really long time. So that means that this Hoya will be in this planter for a long time, which is great because it matches the darkness of the pot. Now let's get into the updates of the rest of my plants. So like I said, my plants are doing pretty good. We did have a couple crime scenes and we did have one casualty, which I already knew was gonna happen when I left. This is pretty sad because I loved this carnivorous plant. My sundew, but since I was gone for Thanksgiving and since I was gone for Christmas, it hasn't gotten enough water, and it also does not like how cold it is near the window. There is still some green on here, but I just don't think I can really revive this. I'm going to keep the pot because when the market opens up in the springtime, hopefully, I can go back to the stall that I ended up getting this from and just just buying one that doesn't have an actual pot, but like a plastic pot. She sells some like this with a nice pot that she made, handmade out of random things she finds. And then she has ones that are in plastic cups, or pots, my god. And I think I'll just buy one that's in a plastic pot and put it back in here and just restart, because I love this one and it was taking all the gnats that were in my bedroom away. It was so helpful, and I can still see that even though it's very dry, it's still catching some. I should fill this up with water and try to survive the big one. The two smaller ones are donezo, but hopefully I can revive it, or else I'll just replace it. Another weird update is this guy is just getting so freaking leggy, and I don't like it. I don't like it. So I think I'm gonna do a big chop. Maybe not now, maybe when it's closer to the summer, when I know this will be getting better light. But it jumped so long. It was maybe here before I left, and now it's all the way here. So it's growing, which I love, but it's just becoming a lot. And I don't want to climb this. I really don't. I'm anti-climbing. I just can't do poles. I've learned that about myself. I don't like the look of them. I don't really care. So, she's gonna get a chop. Speaking of poles, my one pole left me a huge surprise when I got back. Let me show you. So this is my one pole. As you can see, the light is coming from this way and not this way because I still have this on a windowsill and it's not big enough to like put on the ground. So I'm just letting it twist as much as it wants right now. Like I said, I really don't like poles right now, but this is the newest leaf. Let me unravel it for you. It is so gorgeous. I had no idea that this philodendron white princess would ever give me variegation like that. A half moon variegation is like insane. Before, it would barely give me any variegation. The most variegation I have is this broken leaf that I broke all the way down here. This leaf I broke because my dance shoe fell on it. I also need to water this pole because it looks very dry. Let me do that. I'll do that in a second. But yeah, like I don't care about poles. I really don't care about this philodendron. It doesn't really give me much joy. I just wanted to put it on a pole because I've never done it before. Which I've learned a lot from it. But it's just not my thing. I'd rather have like a trailing plant or one that can stand on its own and doesn't need a moss pole. I don't care about big leaves. I really don't. That's not my thing. And luckily these haven't gotten humongous because I feel like if they did, I would just scrap it, give it away maybe, because I don't really want this to be a trailing plant. I'd only want this to be a pole plant, but like I said, I don't want a pole. It does help with vertical space because I have more vertical space than I do flat surfaces, but I just don't really care about it right now. Maybe in the future I'll like poles better. But this has given me hope about this plant. I'm so excited for it to come out fully. And from the looks of this new one coming in, I really hope it's not all white. Doesn't look like it, so it should. My camera cut out somewhere in that white philodendron princess talk. It's fine. I was just babbling for a really long time about how I don't like poles, but I'm happy about the variegation. Moving on. So this is the money tree that I have. I don't want it anywhere near these plants, and I don't want it anywhere near those plants. I've just been leaving this on the floor for a month now. I came back Thanksgiving and I saw flat mites on here. I think I ID'd them correctly. It took me a second to figure out what kind of bug it is, but I'm pretty sure it's a flat mite, not thrips. But I haven't looked at this since being back because I just really don't want to think about it. I've showered this, I've sprayed stuff on it, so I just need to see. I also have cut so many leaves off, like, look at that. And I cut the one that was coming out this way completely off. All of those leaves are completely damaged and not worth saving. Wait. I don't see any left. I see some dead ones. They don't look like what they were before. Okay, and I see no more damage. Just looks like the damage that it was when I first saw these leaves. The bottom ones were 10 times worse, so these ones are looking pretty healthy for what they have gone through. I will definitely give this one more shower, spray it down, and maybe I could put this back on one of my shelves. I'm still scared, but I need to check my silver band Maranta next. So my silver band was next to my money tree, and I did see some flat mites on this right when I got back. I cut off the leaf that had some damage, sprayed it down, showered it, put it in isolation, and it's looking really good. I'm so proud of this plant. It's looking phenomenal. It is full, it is bushy. I could never ask for anything more. I did, though, get rid of my red Maranta. I had it up there with my pothos and I neglected it completely. It dried up. I couldn't even take any cuttings from it, so I did get rid of a plant, which is okay. I definitely need to downgrade. I definitely need to give plants away, and I'm not really buying any new plants. Nothing's really inspiring me. I went to plant stores when I was home in Chicago. I got a plant for my dad, my sister, and my sister's boyfriend, and when we were going there, I was like, I personally would not buy any of these plants for myself because, I don't know, like, I think I have enough that I like, and if I keep piling more on, like, I'm not gonna enjoy this anymore, and I think I have enough that I really, really love that it just won't make me need anything more. So I only have one more Maranta left. I got rid of all of my other ones because they got bugs or they dried up. This one did get bugs, but it looks like they're gone, which I'm really happy about. Next up, I want to talk about my philodendron brandy. So I have 3 attempts of this plant. I got it for free because the place I got it from were having trouble with this plant and they just wanted it gone. So I took it, and boy, does it have so many freaking problems? So this is a wet stick, which is the best one I have yet. Okay, it's the best version of this plant that I have, which is not saying a lot because the leaves are obviously baby. I have a new one unraveling. I did have to get it unstuck. I did have to help it out, which is something that I don't want to keep doing for this freaking plant, but it keeps getting freaking stuck. So we'll see how this one does with that leaf that was stuck. This one, I put 2 cuttings in water. One died when I put it to soil, but the leaf was already broken. Like, it was barely even a leaf, so I don't think it could absorb that much sun anyway, so it just died off. I didn't take it out. It's still kind of green here, but it's not... Oh my god, it's gonna shoot out a new leaf. Okay, we're keeping that, thank God. But this is the newest leaf of this cutting. It looks good, okay? Did I have to help it? Yes, I did have to help it. Is there some tears? A little bit. You can't really tell. I've had a lot worse. This was a leaf right here. Don't know what that is. But there's a new leaf coming in. I'm probably gonna have to help it. I am so fed up with this freaking plant. So let me show you the mother plant, which is not even anything of a mother plant. Like, ah! No, my plants are falling. My plants are falling. My God, this plant, okay. Before I even get to that before I even get to that freaking brandy philodendron, this monstera has caused so much trouble, okay? Okay? It caused a crime scene when my boyfriend came over to water the plants, okay? He came a week and maybe a half after I watered everything completely before I left, and this was just dangling on the floor. And it won't stay up. Is it because I probably don't have it close enough to the window? Mm-hmm. And before, was it like barely even watered, so the pot was just so light? Yes. But I did water it again, and it just keeps falling. So if anyone wants a monstera, I have 5 freaking monsteras, and you can have one, because I just can't handle having 5 anymore. Okay, here's the mother. So I left with this guy. I had to help it. And the thing is, I didn't even make this damage from me helping it. It just does it to itself. It keeps breaking its own leaves. It's not because I'm trying to rip through and get it out. I don't care. It can take as long as it needs. I'm not, like, I'm patient. I don't need it right away. But then I see that it's like ripping, and then I gotta get in there. And then I did not do anything with this leaf. I came back to see it like this. And I don't really know what happened here. It's still like rolled up, but not. It's not gonna unravel anymore. I think it's just done doing what it's doing. And then this one is looking promising. Right when I got back, I helped it out because it was stuck. But I don't see any ripping in this leaf. So I'm hoping that this leaf will look good, because it's such a pretty plant. But I don't know why it's giving me a really bad time. I don't know. Like, someone please inform me if it's just my plant that's acting weird. Do I need more humidity? Is this just a philodendron brandy thing that happens to many people? I don't know. Because this is giving me not a lot of hope, and I don't want to put this in the bin. Like, I don't want to think that this is a failure because it's like not, but it is. Okay, let's talk about something nice instead of something sad. I am getting this new bad boy. It's huge. It looks so good. It is facing backwards, but hopefully I can like twist it. Oh god, I'm so scared. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now it's facing the right side. It's definitely a crawler. I did not put this on a pole. I don't know what I will do with this once it expands this pot, which is about to very soon, as you can tell. I don't know, maybe I'll just keep cutting this and restarting it and getting bigger leaves. I'm fine with like cutting this up, wanting bigger leaves, than doing a pole, because I don't even need to have that many leaves at a time for this plant. This is plenty of leaves for this plant, and I think it looks good. I don't need a big climber. It's not my thing. But I'm so excited for this big leaf to be fully set in. Okay, so some more bad news. I feel like this video is such a Debbie Downer, but I'm really happy with my plants right now. I was really not expecting them to do this well, but there are certain things that did happen that I obviously have to update. So in my bathroom, I have a grow light that is like a stick that you put into a pot, and I put it into my ZZ plant. It's been doing well on my ZZ plant, fine. And when my boyfriend came to water my plants, the light fell because the pot was very light compared to the light, and it fell onto this guy here and one more, which I'll show you in a sec. So some of the leaves are bent, and obviously the stem is looking like it's dying, but it's not. It just got a little crushed and moved over. I'm happy that it didn't get scorched by the light. My rabbit's foot, that's already half dead, so it doesn't really matter to me, got a little sunburned. But I'm happy that this didn't, but I am going to have to be very patient for it to get back straight. I'm going to have to use the light and manipulate it back upright. I do have the smaller one that's doing pretty well for me. But it looks like I should water it or something, but it's fine. It is pretty watered. It's just been manipulated into a way where it looks sickly. So hopefully I can get this looking good again. The other casualty, well, not casualty, just damage from that was my anthurium. So this is the newest leaf. It did get a little cut right there. It's still doing pretty good with that cut there. It is upside down, so hopefully it could start looking like that. Ooh, maybe I just manipulated it to do it, but it didn't get sunburnt from the light, which is good. It could be a lot worse, but I guess I'm happy it happened to a leaf that would be twisted anyways, instead of a leaf that would have been perfectly facing outward. So it's not a total loss, it's an okay thing, but this did happen, so hopefully it will still grow pretty big. It's still pretty soft, so we'll see what it ends up looking like. For the rest of the video, I'll just show you quick views of plants that I'm pretty happy with right now, that are growing to a way that I like, that I didn't even realize I would like. So here's the first one. I've had this one for a pretty long time. It was one of my first plants, and I did not want it to droop. I did not want it to trail, but now I'm liking it. I had this leaning up against a wall, trying to shoot up these leaves, but now I put a hanging basket on, and I think it looks fantastic. I'm so excited for this to start dripping even more. It's growing so many more shoots, and it's just gonna look amazing. This is my snake plant, which is very festive right now. I don't want to take these little Christmas hats off, but holidays are over. I'll keep them on until it starts becoming spring. But I finally grew out this guy. I had to upgrade the pot so many freaking times, but it finally fully grew. I am very happy that I finally got a third freaking leaf on this, but I'm very pleased and I can't wait for it to have more. My asparagus fern is so cute. I am fully obsessed with this plant. It looks so good in this planter. It just is gorgeous. I just love showing it off. So here I am showing it off. I'm not going to show you, but my pothos up there has been trailing really good since I gotten back. It's getting bushier. I finally put cuttings back in them and they're looking really good. I don't really need to show you it, but it's there. And lastly, here is my Christmas tree. I took off the ornaments once I got back, and I can't wait for this to get bigger so I can put more things on this later down the line. But I just think this is such a fun plant to have instead of a Christmas tree. So this one will be on the back burner for now that it's not Christmas, but I'll still be taking care of her. So that's it for my updates. There's a lot more things. I have a lot more plans to touch and talk about, but we don't need to get into that. These are just like the bigger things that I've noticed since being back and things that I need to be aware of going forward with some of them. The biggest thing I've learned is that my plants don't need to be cared for over a week. For Thanksgiving, I made my boyfriend come over within the week to do some plant care, but not everything. And this time he came like a week and a half after I watered them, and they were doing just fine. So if I need to leave for a week, I don't need anyone to really come here to water, to take care, or anything. So that helps me in the future to know that I'm not being a burden to people to be like, water all my plants. So that makes me feel a lot better in the future, because there are going to be times where I'm not going to be here. I'm so excited for these plants for the next year. These are all very new plants, and I haven't had like any of these for a year yet. So I can't wait to see their growth. I can't wait to give out plants, because that's going to happen, because all these plants are going to get humongous. I can't keep all of them, but I want to give some to people who are very interested in wanting some plants. I know a lot of people do like 2025 wish lists of plants, but I'm not doing that personally. I don't care for very special, unique plants. I just like the ones I have right now, and I don't really need anything else to catch my eye until maybe they all die and I need another plant or something. But for now, I don't need to have a 2025 wish list of plants. That just is not in the cards for me. With that, I think that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what's going around here, and I hope you join in for more later. Thank you. Bye.